Hey guys, Sophie here. I'm back with another video blog post, and today we're going to be talking about kind of the first steps to developing out a content strategy. So regardless of what products or services you or your company offers, it's important to make sure that when you're speaking to your audience of potential prospects, you're coming to them with content that is not only applicable, but engaging and timely. Now that things are starting to slow down a little bit after the holiday season, it might be a good time to revisit some of that content marketing, what your strategy is, have you built one, have you never thought about it, and kind of just take those first steps. We understand that might seem like a lot to take on, which is why we've outlined some first steps that can get you started and hopefully eventually serve as a framework for a more long-term strategy. So let's start with the basics. What does content strategy really mean, first and foremost? That is essentially a strategy that is built around content. It's an outline plan, and it's going to detail pretty much exactly how you plan to use all of the content that's at your disposal. That could be audio, written, or visual, basically anything that furthers your ultimate business goals. So for instance, if you're getting more search traffic to your company's blog, that's something that you really want to do and you really want to continue to do. You might want to implement a content strategy that focuses on SEO, keyword implementation, and a carefully curated list of topics that you're certain will resonate with your desired audience. Unfortunately, content can tend to get pushed to the back burner, and it's not really a priority for a lot of new businesses or startups. There are generally just so many things to focus on that a content strategy either was never developed or there was just no real rhyme or reason to the messaging that's currently being put out. It's not particularly on brand, it's not particularly on message, and it feels like it might be more work than it's worth to develop something more formal and concrete. Our warning would be, don't fall into that trap. Content is important for a ton of reasons, but mostly because it's one of the first things that's going to attract potential new customers to your brand. Generally, one of the first questions that I find myself asking as a consumer, considering engaging with a brand that I might not be familiar with, is what problem can you solve for me? Your content pieces that reach people at these super early parts of the sales cycle work to identify and define that problem and explain your solution in a cohesive manner to your audience. Not only does this help you to build your credibility, but it really helps the customer's confidence in you. And content can also work to help you differentiate yourself. After all, it's incredibly likely that regardless of what you're dealing with, competition-wise, you specialize in CPG, you are an SaaS, software as a service. Even if you're entirely service-driven, there's going to be a similar offering on the market, and you need to know what makes you different, and most importantly, what makes you better. And if you can express those things in clear language to your target market, you're already ahead of the game. The brand voice that you choose to take in your content really helps to put a face to your company and gives it more of a personality. More and more, this kind of corporate relatability is a really important factor for customers when they're faced with these buying decisions. So the next question that you might need to sit down and answer when you're building out this content strategy is going to seem simple, but it truly can't be overlooked. And that question is, where are the people that you're trying to reach? While we hope that this video blog post kind of helps you grapple with the basics of that content strategy, we won't lie. Creating meaningful content pieces definitely takes time. For that reason, it's important not to waste any of that time trying to reach people in places or on platforms where they're just simply not spending their time. So you really need to be strategic when it comes to your channels. For instance, if you are a software as a service company whose function might not be as easy to understand as other products on the market, a longer form YouTube video that can serve as an educational piece might be more impactful than a minute-long TikTok video that's kind of there just for entertainment purposes only. So you'll definitely need to do some market research, find out the answers to these questions, and that will take time, but again, we promise it is worth it. You really just want to be ready for new beginnings and how your business can grow, and starting with a content strategy and taking that seriously is a great first step. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to us. But we hope this was helpful, and we hope you take those first steps today. Thanks, guys.